Morning, everybody. I'm going to read your Bible stories for tomorrow's Sunday school if you want to listen. All right? So we have two stories, the rich man and Lazarus. Luke 16:19 through 31. There was a certain rich man who thought only of himself. He wore expensive clothes. Every day he ate the best kind of food. His many servants were quick to do his bidding. He lived only to enjoy himself. At the rich man's gate lay a beggar named Lazarus. He was so ill. He was too ill to work for a living. So he asked for the crumbs that would fall from the rich man's table. He felt he had a right to ask for help since both he and the rich man were descendants of Abraham. But the rich man, he would not help Lazarus at all. He wouldn't even give him his crumbs. Even the dogs seemed sorry for Lazarus, but not the rich man. Finally, Lazarus died, and the angels carried him to heaven. Here he was not a beggar. He was in no more suffering when he went to heaven. He could live in peace and happiness with Abraham and other very good people who had left the world. Later, the rich man died. His friends buried him in a new cave and mourned for him. The rich man was taken to a place of torment. There he lifted up his eyes. Far, far away he saw Lazarus. Oh, wow, how happy Lazarus looked with Abraham. The rich man cried out, "Abraham, have mercy on me. Send Lazarus that he may dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my burning tongue." Oof. Abraham answered, "Remember the good things you enjoyed in your lifetime, while Lazarus had only trouble and suffering. Now he is comforted, and you are tormented. I can send nothing to you because no one can pass from this place to the place of torment." The rich man remembered his brothers who were still living on the earth. He did not want them to come to this place. He said, "Please send Lazarus back to my father's house. He must warn my 5 brothers about this dreadful place." Abraham answered, "They have the words of Moses and the prophets, so let them obey those words." The rich man knew his brothers would never do that. He pleaded, "No, but if someone were to be sent from the dead, they would repent." Finally, Abraham said, "If they will not pay any attention to the words in God's book, they would not pay any attention to one who rose from the dead." That's our first story. Okay? Lots of good messages there. Lots of things for you guys to talk about with your mom and dad and have a Sunday school session. The Pharisee and the Publican. And this is in Luke 18:9 through 14. In the crowd were people who were proud of their righteousness. They despised those who they thought were sinners. To teach them a lesson, Jesus told this story. And here's a picture. So we have a Pharisee and we have a tax collector. All right? So these are the 2 men in our story that will be praying. And so you listen to which one you think is who. 2 men went up to the temple to pray. One was a Pharisee and the other a tax collector. The Pharisee stood and prayed loudly for all to hear. "God, I thank you that I am not like other men, unrighteous, unjust, unfair in business dealings, or even like this tax collector. I fast twice a week. I give 1/10 of all I own." That's how he was praying. But the tax collector stood by himself. He would not even lift his eyes toward heaven when he prayed, bowing his head, he beat his breast and said, God, be merciful to me, a sinner. And Jesus said, I tell you, this tax collector, and not the proud Pharisee, went home with God's blessing. For whoever lifts himself up in his own sight is not pleasing to God, but whoever humbles himself shall be lifted up. All right, so there's our stories for Sunday school. You guys have a good week. Talk to you later.